Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. Even though the Bills powerbombed 48 on my Broncos this weekend, it's not nearly as bad as losing to the Jets, Perna. The Rams became the only team in 2020 to lose to the New York Jets.
It's going to be embarrassing, sick to your stomach about it.
And the Rams join this list of teams to give the only win to another NFL ball club. It is best and worst of Week 15. A best, Derrick Henry stiff-arming another man into memedom. If I'm Alex Meyers, I'm changing my last name and asking for a new number. It's the closest thing the NFL has to a witness protection program. And we go from stiff arms to baby arms for my worst. It's Brett Favre starring in this cameo commercial. Specifically, the framing here, where it looks like this unsuspecting woman is showing her husband the dick pic Brett Favre just cameoed them. They really didn't think about the optics here, did they? Never forget that Brett Favre was sending out dick pics back when he had to describe it to a telephone operator, and then she in turn would paint a picture of it for the person on the other end of the telegraph. Week 15, best and worst of all NFL Sunday and a little bit Saturday. Let's get sports. Hey, if you like your NFL news hosted by a fucking idiot, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode is sponsored by my friends from Manscaped. Manscaped.com/goodsports. It is December, which means it's time to start thinking about the holidays, or as I call them, balladays. Just like me, Christmas always seems to come early. So fellas, dudes, bros, men, guys, now is the time to start putting the performance package on your list of gifts you'd like to receive this holiday season. Actually, time's about out. The performance package includes the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer and the Lawnmower 3.0, the only below the elastic waistband pube trimmer to feature skin-safe technology to reduce those nicks and cuts in that very special area. And asking for Manscaped products as stocking stuffers is much classier than stuffing your pants. So use my discount link below, manscaped.com/goodsports, which will have your stockings overstuffed with 2 free gifts, 20% off, and now free international shipping. The most dangerous thing you can give the Falcons is a lead in a game at any point. They are as hopeless as Michael and Dwight searching through a landfill for those leads that Kevin accidentally threw away. That's the only sales reference I thought you might get. Atlanta shut out Tampa Bay in the first half. We're up 24-7 and still couldn't close the deal. The panties were off. The legs were open. She said yes, but the Falcons are limp. Always forgetting the Cialis at home. Worst, Antoine Winfield Jr., who's having a solid rookie season, making up for an insane amount of ground to knock down what should have been a wide open, easy touchdown pass for the Falcons to take a touchdown lead late in the fourth. Worst, Lenny Fournette got a very favorable spot to keep the chains moving and in this game. And by favorable, I mean that ref blatantly moved the ball forward and then called this a first down even though the ball was clearly short. Where's the index card, refs? If the card touches the ground, it's not a first down. How do the officials not give the Falcons one more chance to fuck this up? Packers-Panthers, worst. Aaron Rodgers' biggest threat to winning MVP is Aaron Jones. He's too damn good. The Packers dominated this game before Carolina clawed back in the second half, but Rodgers had just 143 passing yards and 1 TD plus a rushing touchdown. Texans at Colts, worst. Jonathan Taylor making this 2-yard touchdown run look much more difficult than it really is. That's the Texans defense, Jonathan. You would have scored if you were blindfolded or blind. It was cool, though, to see the Colts demonstrating what a dance party looks like at the Rivers household. Based on Deshaun Watson's sideline reaction, I'd say there is nobody in the NFL more ready for the season to end than Deshaun Watson. David Johnson was the Texans' leading receiver with 11 catches and 106 yards. Also, the leading rusher. I don't ever remember DeAndre Hopkins leading the team in rushing and receiving yards. Maybe it's time to bring back Bill O'Brien. And the final best from this game, getting to say Kiki Cutie fumbled and the ball was recovered by Bobby Okereke. Okereke recovers the Kiki Cutie fumble. Okereke recovers the Kiki Cutie fumble. Okereke recovers the Kiki Cutie fumble. Lions at Titans. Best, Corey Davis making me look like a fucking genius. I gave him high praise in my power rankings episode or my prediction episode last week, and all he does is rip this 75-yard touchdown. Davis is a free agent this offseason and really couldn't have timed his breakout season any better. Worst, someone who's not in a contract year, Matthew Stafford, who exasperated his rib injury in the loss to the Titans. Depending on whether or not he's healthy the next 2 weeks, this could have been his last game in a Lions uniform. So, congratulations, Matt. You might go somewhere better. Bears vs. Vikings best? Is Mitch Trubisky good again? No risky, no bisky. I mean, damn, Chicago, 33 points this week, 36 points last week, and you get the Jags, who now have no reason to win next week? I predict the Bears will be the most overrated team after week 16. Worst? Justin Jefferson is already as mad at Kirk Cousins as Stephon Diggs was after a few full seasons with him. Seahawks vs. Washington football team best. Washington may not have a name, but they're the only team in the NFL that can score 1 point without scoring a touchdown first. Seahawks up 6-1. Alex Smith isn't just the comeback player of the year, he is the best quarterback in Washington. Credit the football team's defense for keeping this close, but without him and Antonio Gibson, they didn't stand a chance. Patriots at Dolphins best? The Patriots not making it to the playoffs for the first time since Robert Kraft was more famous for whole milk Kraft singles than he was for using singles to pay to have his whole prostate milked. Ha! Tua had a smart rushing touchdown in this game, and another quarterback sneak on the goal line to give the Patriots an extended vacation and get that rare rookie quarterback win against a Belichick-coached team. Assuming one of his teammates does not break his jaw in the locker room, I like Tua's chances moving forward better than Geno Smith, the last rook to best Belichick. Worst, seeing Xavier Howard's fumble 6 get taken away because Christian Wilkins' girthy thighs were out of bounds. With apologies to the body positive movement, this is a prime example of being too thick. And that is why you always skip leg day, Christian. Best, Salvin Ahmed became the first Dolphin to rush for 100 yards in 2 years. And he did it because he promised his grandma, who is in the hospital, that he would rush for 100 yards for her on Sunday. He could be the #1 reason Miami wins in the postseason. Jaguars vs. Ravens best, Dez Bryant scored his first touchdown since 2017, capping a heartwarming comeback. Dez went over 1,100 days without scoring. Big deal. Tim Tebow went over 11,000 days without scoring. And yes, the X Dez makes stands for sex, which Dez is now allowed to have again. Worst, Lamar Jackson doesn't look so special after this play. Not only did Jackson get sacked, his lineman turned into a human bowling ball. That would be Tyre Phillips, and this is what happens when you have a boulder carrying a rock. Stolen. Honestly, it looks like anyone is a dynamic runner behind that Baltimore offensive line. Worst, thinking about Trevor Lawrence wasting away a career in Jacksonville. Cowboys 49ers, worst of the worst. Jesus Christ, why won't the Cowboys just die already? They're like a cancer that keeps coming back no matter how many times you zap it with radiation. I can already sense the Week 17 Sunday night football nightmare between the Andy Dalton-led Cowboys and the Giants for first place in the NFC East. I can think of nothing more godless to taint the new year than a Cowboys playoff game. Best? Tony Pollard is a better running back than Ezekiel Elliott. Eagles versus Cardinals. Great game. Best? Aqib Talib announcing this game, man, and giving Kyler Murray the best nickname ever in Calamari. Best? This safety on Jalen Hurts gave us the fourth safety that occurred on Sunday. Bring in the quad box to show them all at the same time. I dated a woman in college who called her a quad box, but that's because she said she could have fit 4 of my in there. Best, Larry Fitzgerald's first touchdown catch of the season was also one of the best and most impressive catches of the entire weekend. This weekend, the whole debate, though, was about Randy Moss versus Jerry Rice, and Larry Fitzgerald was silent, knowing he'd be number 1 if he hadn't spent half of his career catching passes from Josh Rosen, Kevin Kolb, and John Skelton. Best? Jalen Hurts tying this game with a rushing touchdown. He finished with 338 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, and 63 rushing yards with that rushing tutty. Jalen Hurts should be the Eagles quarterback moving forward. He looks like Wentz before Wentz tore his ACL. This play, where he's stripped of the ball, picks it back up, and fires a first down to Dallas Goedert, tells you everything you need to know. Unfortunately for Hurts, the Cardinals have perfect Hail Mary luck this season, and Philly loses. Jets at the Rams. Best, the Jets score a touchdown on the opening drive. They've scored on 8 straight opening drives this year. It's kind of impressive to do this and still lose every game. It's like Adam Gase scripts the first 15 plays and then asks Madden the rest of the game. Luckily, Sean McVay's one weakness is coaching against Madden recommendations with Jared Goff as his QB. Worst? Did Bill Belichick place a hex on Sean McVay by showering him with praise after last week's spanking? Yes. Beating Bill Belichick and then losing to Adam Gase is like successfully climbing Mount Everest and then dying alone after you got lost on a local hiking trail. There's literally concrete paths to show you how to get back home. And now the Jets have the 2nd overall pick in the NFL draft, so winning this game was in every way worse than being the Rams and losing this game. There's no guarantee that Trevor Lawrence will transform the Jets or the Jaguars franchises. I'm not even sure Vince Lombardi, with the help of Jesus Christ himself, could do that. But you want the number 1 pick so you can control everything in the draft. And oh yeah, get the best quarterback available. Chiefs vs. Saints. Best, this beautiful, only Mahomes touchdown pass to Travis Kelce. How does he do it? I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers pull that off. Breeze now has 2 games to turn Lil Jordan Humphrey into the next Michael Thomas, or the Saints are just going to have an early playoff exit for the 4th straight year. Worst? Alex Anelzone can't score the backdoor touchdown. Fumbling 5 points through the back of the end zone. 5 points. That's enough to make a fist, isn't it, Anelzone? Well, I guess if Anelzone gets the deuce, that's just as fitting. Worst, Cameron Jordan was thrown out of this game for throwing a punch? That was during a live play. This rule is stupid. Let it be a penalty, that's fine, but ejecting the best defensive player from a key game in December is bullshit. The only reason an NFL player should be ejected from a football game is if he might be the next guy to endure a Derrick Henry stiff arm, which, by the way, is far more violent than whatever Cameron Jordan did. Browns vs. Giants, Sunday Night Football. Best? Joe Judge clearly thinks punter Riley Dixon, former Bronco, who took the snap from Casey Kreider, also a former Bronco, is a better passer than quarterback Colt McCoy. Calling this trick play on the opening series on 4th down in the red zone instead of running a real play with your quarterback or just taking the points with a field goal. Best? Even with another Cody Parkey doink. Yes, that is becoming more reliable than the Falcons losing with the lead. The Browns on the arm of Baker Mayfield are 10-4. Congrats on 10 wins, Cleveland.
And, oh no, he didn't doink.
And here we are, the Big Dick Player Awards. Big Dick quarterback goes to Ryan Tannehill, who threw for 3 touchdowns plus 2 rushing touchdowns. He's been overshadowed by Derrick Henry, but you could argue Tannehill's been about the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in the NFL. Tannehill has a career-high 31 touchdown passes and deserves a cut of whatever Sam Darnold gets on his next contract. He also has the Titans as the #1 scoring offense in the NFL right now. Not the Chiefs, not the Packers, the Titans. Big Dick receiver, DeAndre Hopkins. It's not just the stats, although he did lead with a $169 in receiving yards. But really, he was the sole reason the Cardinals took back the lead in the 4th quarter against the Eagles. He had a huge catch and run, and then another touchdown grab so impressive, even Bill O'Brien is smiling somewhere. Probably on Shutter Island. Big Dick ball carrier? Aaron Jones finished with 145 rushing yards, David Montgomery 146, and Derrick Henry had 147. Luckily for David Montgomery, I don't even consider King Henry a contender here unless he hits 200 rushing yards, which is why David Montgomery gets the Big Dick Ball Carrier Award. The Bears got a huge win against the Vikings. He scored 2 touchdowns, and more importantly, he has resurrected a Bears rushing attack I had proclaimed was more dead than the Patriots' playoff chances. Big Dick Defender. Gardner Minshew tried to warn his team, but they did not listen. Yannick Ngakoue, like Minshew said, was out for blood against his old team, the Jaguars. Ngakoue had 2 sacks, including a forced fumble against the team he couldn't wait to get away from. Ironically, though, by demanding a trade, he might be the reason the Jags are bad enough to draft Trevor. Thanks for watching Week 15, Best and Worst. I recapped the Broncos-Bills game already. You can click that video on the screen right now if you so desire.